Welcome to another episode of SteelersFix Daily, your go-to spot for all things Pittsburgh Steelers, from breaking news and roster moves to game previews, throwbacks, and everything in between. We're bringing you the latest, straight from the black and gold lens. Let's dive in. All right, Steelers Nation, gather up. We've got a loaded one today. Beanie Bishop is back in black and gold. Chuck Clark returns to the 53rd. Max Scharping joins the trench mob. And rookies Will Howard and Donte Kent hit injured reserve in a move that's as much strategy as it is necessity. This is classic Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin roster gymnastics. It's not flashy. It's not dramatic. But it's smart. And smart wins in December. Let's start with the headline that had the timeline doing wind sprints. Beanie Bishop is back. Steelers Twitter was ready to storm the South Side when the initial cuts came down. Why cut Bishop? What are we doing at slot? I heard it all. But this is where you take a breath. Sip your Iron City. And remember, sometimes a cut is just a bridge. Bishop clears waivers, walks right back into the building. And now he's on the practice squad with a helmet a half turn away. Is slot-only versatility limiting him right now? Sure. Do the Steelers love DBs who can slide inside and outside like Brandon Echols? Absolutely. But Bishop's got ball skills. 4 picks last year. And that underdog edge the city adores. And let me be crystal clear for anyone new to the practice squad game. Practice squad isn't exile. It's the porch. You're still at the house. You're still part of the work. You're still one hamstring tug away from playing meaningful snaps in front of 65,000 terrible towels. Mike Tomlin said it himself. Those guys were on the outside looking in. That's exactly what the practice squad is for. Keep the dudes who can help you, coach them up, and be ready when the phone rings. Now, the IR dance with Will Howard and Donte Kent. This is where the Steelers showed their chessboard. Before cutdown day. You only get 2 IR with return designations. After cutdown day. You can stash a player on IR and still bring him back later, up to 8 total over the season. So what did Pittsburgh do? They held Howard and Kent on the 53rd through the deadline, then moved them to IR right after, and re-signed Clark and added Scharping. Flexibility preserved. Options protected. That's how a front office earns its stripes. Let's talk Will Howard. The plan all along? Development year. He breaks his pinky on the throwing hand, misses the preseason, and the Steelers say, cool, heal, learn, and be ready if we need you. On IR, he must miss the first 4 games. The earliest he can suit up? Week 6 versus the Browns. After the Week 5 bye at home. And in the meantime, Skylar Thompson rides quarterback 3 with that preseason heater he just put on tape. Now Donte Kent, same idea. He's a rookie corner with traits you like. Don't throw him into the deep end if you don't have to. Use the rules, protect the roster, and give yourself the option to bring him back when the league's attrition machine inevitably starts chewing. All right, Chuck Clark. For about 24 hours, some folks thought we lost him. Nope. Paper move. The man is back on the 53, veteran safety, green dot smart, Ravens tested, Jets tough. He put good tape down in camp and preseason, 6 tackles and a TFL, and he brings that steadying presence to a safety room that's been in flux since Minka was dealt. Clark won't try to be Minka, and he shouldn't. What he will be is reliable. Assignment sound and physical. And if you watched him in Baltimore, you know he's comfortable in disguise-heavy looks. Roll down, spin late, bait the quarterback. Pair that with Deshaun Elliott's thump and Juan Thornhill's range. Plus Miles Killebrew's specials ace roll, and suddenly the back end feels stable. Max Scharping. Time. I know interior O-line depth doesn't trend, but Rodgers is here to win now, so the men guarding his ribs matter a whole lot. Scharping's played guard in big spots. He's seen a few playoff winters, and he gives you a swing option on the inside if a guy tweaks something in week 8 and can't go. That peace of mind lets Arthur Smith, on offense, call the game with fewer what-if alarms blaring in his head. Let's circle back to Bishop, because the fan part of me can't help it. There's something about this city and gritty corners. We fall for the grinders, the ones who get picked on in September and answer in November. If Bishop refines the footwork, adds a tick more patience at the break point, and tightens tackling through the thighs, he's going to get snaps. Slot corners are starters now. Offenses live in 11 personnel. And when you're playing Lamar's scramble rules, or Joe Burrow's option routes, or whatever wizardry the Browns are copying this month, you need a nickel who can read through the trash. So Beanie Bishop is back. And that matters. Now the practice squad as a whole, because Coach laid it out. And on the outside looking in. Translation, it was close. That group, Trey Sermon, Lew Nichols, Robert Woods, Stephen Jones, Dylan Cook, James Pierre, Bishop, Deshaun Jameson, Beanie, Sebastian Castro, and the rest, they earned the right to keep grinding in-house. Continuity for the staff. Familiarity for the playbook, period. And call-up options with zero onboarding curve. The Steelers didn't win cutdown day with headlines. They won it with the flexibility. The standard is the standard. Let's dig deeper into how these moves show up on real game scripts. Because roster talk is cool. But we live for Sundays. First, they secondary with Chuck Clark in the fold. Think of 3 buckets. Early down structure, pressure disguises, and red zone temperament. Clark's presence tightens all 3. Early downs. He's a coach's best friend. If you're in a quarter shell and the offense motions to force a communication check, a veteran safety keeps the roof intact. You don't give up cheap explosives when the safety nails the leverage and the nickel knows he has help. That's hidden yardage. Pressure disguise. Pittsburgh still wants to mug A-gaps, green dog the back, and show one thing while playing another. Clark's not going to panic if the countdown clock hits 2 seconds and the QB is scanning. He's seen it. He'll hold the shell, spin late, and make that throw a half tick harder. Red zone. This is where experience saves points. Tight windows, condensed splits, rub routes. A veteran safety will pass those off clean. 3 points instead of 7 on 2 drives? That's a ball game. Now, Beanie Bishop's path to the field. 2 avenues. A special teams surge. And a nickel emergency. If he locks down kick coverage and punts with angles and finish, hello helmet sticker. Then 1 nick in the corner room and he's up on a Saturday elevation, playing 22 snaps in sub and breaking up a slant on 3rd and 4. That's how it happens in this league, quietly, then all at once. Let's pivot to Max Scharping and trench implications. Arthur Smith's best vibe is multiplicity that doesn't look cute, heavy looks that can still throw, light looks that can still run. If an interior guy gets dinged, Scharping lets you stay in the full playbook. You can still run duo behind a double team, still sell wide zone with Rodgers on a keeper, still protect on half boot without the weak side guard getting forklifted into the lap of your 41-year-old quarterback. And yeah, Rodgers. We know what the mission is with him. Clean interior, firm edges, and give him a second look in the progression. He'll find it. On the RB front, Trey Sermon and Lew Nichols on the practice squad is exactly the kind of depth you want. Jaylen Warren is your heartbeat. Kenneth Gainwell gives you passing down juice. And Caleb Johnson's the thunderstick when you need to dent a front. Sermon's a call away if you need a grown man downhill series. Nichols? He flashed all August. 7.9 per carry is loud even in preseason. Not perfect yet on protections, but that's why this setup is ideal. Keep learning, keep that burst, wait for the right week. Robert Woods. Sticking around as a vet presence on the practice squad is underrated glue. He's a clinic tape guy on splits, stems, and stock blocks. That matters for a young room. Roman Wilson's still building out the tree, Scotty's a slot jitterbug, and the room needs someone who knows the boring details that win third downs. Zoom out. Why didn't Pittsburgh claim anyone off waivers? Because continuity beats chaos in September. You already spent a month teaching your terminology to these dudes. Why rip a locker open just to try a mystery box? Keep your guys? Elevate as needed? Let the room grow. Now I know some of you wanted fireworks. But this team has a plan. If the injuries pile up, they have return slots for Howard, Kent, and whoever else needs it. If injuries don't pile up, they didn't waste those slots. That's the beauty of waiting until after cutdown day to use IR. Let's talk. Week 1 through the bye without getting lost in opponent spreadsheets. The first month is always weird. Conditioning finishes, identities form, coordinators probe. What travels early? Tackling, point. Protection, dot. And ball security. Clark helps the first. Scharping ensures the second. And if we're not coughing it up, Rodgers will steal 2 first downs a game with his eyes alone. Meanwhile, Skylar Thompson. Being the emergency QB isn't a headline until it is. If he has to play a series or two, him having a hot preseason matters. Confidence is not a switch, it's a bank account. He made deposits in August. Defense wide, here's the fun part. With Clark stabilizing communication, you can turn the dial on pressure without fear of busts behind it. Queen can fly, Ramsey erases windows, JPJ squeezes the sideline, and Elliott will fit like a linebacker when you need to spill the run. When this thing hums, you get that old soundtrack. ... 3rd and 7, crowd roaring, simulated pressure, quick throw, and someone in black hits through the hips. Now let's add a rivalry sprinkle because it's a Pittsburgh show and I'm petty. Cleveland. See you week 6. Put that one in ink. If Howard's healthy and the plan calls for it, that's the earliest we could see him active. Imagine the storyline if he's even the emergency guy in that one. Rookie QB first suited up, divisional tilt, Acrisure loud enough to rattle the rivers. Till then, enjoy your orange helmets, Brownies. Baltimore? You know they're still salty we poached Clark and ran off with Queen. Good. Let steel sharpen steel. And for the national talk shows wringing hands over the Minka trade, save it. Pittsburgh built a whole defense on communication, angles, and timely heat. Clark slots right into that ethos. Do your job and make the other guy wrong. One more on Bishop before we land this block. If he wants to force the staff's hand, here's the checklist. Win punt gunner reps with release technique. Tackle through contact without overrunning the alley. And stack 2 weeks of high-discipline scout team work where coaches can't ignore the tape. Do that, and a Saturday elevation turns into a Sunday box score. Be patient. Be ready. That's the Pittsburgh way. So what does all of this mean for the season arc? It means the Steelers chose resilience over reaction. They banked on development, not dopamine. If the injuries stay light, you don't burn return slots you'll want in November. If the injuries pop, you have options. Howard, Kent, and more, without scrambling for street free agents who don't know your calls. Scenario A. The offensive line plays 12 straight quarters of clean football to start the year. Rodgers gets to his second read period. Roman Wilson's speed threatens vertically period. And the run game hammers with duo and toss crack. Scharping barely plays. Perfect. Insurance you didn't have to cash. Scenario B. Guard rolls an ankle in week 2. Scharping steps in. You don't have to pretend your playbook is half the size. And you steal a road win because you didn't give up the middle. Scenario C. Corner attrition hits in back-to-backs. Bishop gets the call. Plays disciplined nickel dot. And tips a slant into a turnover in the 4th. Suddenly, practice squad guy is the post-game hero the city sings about at Primanti's. And I can't lie, I like the team personality forming here. It's a blend. Rodgers' veteran calm, Queen's sideline-to-sideline swagger, Ramsey's presence, and now Clark's adult-in-the-room energy for the DBs. Add Tomlin's mantra. The standard is the standard, and it feels like a group that won't flinch when it gets weird. We'll keep eyes on the Week 5 bye as a staging ground. If Howard's hand is right, and the staff wants him moving toward activation, that Browns week is the earliest decision point. No rush. No panic. This year was always about rep bank and growth curve. As for Donte Kent, I like his longer arc. Length for a nickel, dotting or competitive hands at the catch point, period. And a willingness to tackle. Give him a month with the trainers, another with the DB room, and watch him sharpen. Quick love letter to the practice squad, because they deserve it. Sermon's a pro, Nichols is juice, Woods is a savvy router, Stephen Jones and Dylan Cook keep the OT room honest, James Pierre is a coach's trust guy, Sebastian Castro flashed in August, JJ Galbraith gives you a jumbo look on the scout team. This is how you build Tuesdays that make Sundays easier. Now one last thought on why the Steelers didn't chase waiver claims, while other teams played musical chairs. Cutdown day is chaos. But championship teams don't chase chaos, they leverage it. You keep your language, your calls, your culture intact, then you sharpen. All right, time to land the plane with a little Pittsburgh poetry. When a guy like Beanie Bishop walks back through the door, he carries every snap from Latrobe, every rep he lost, and every rep he won. He knows the city doesn't hand out hero capes. It makes you earn them in the cold. You want the cape? Make a play in the 4th? That's Pittsburgh. So yeah, Beanie Bishop is back. Chuck Clark is back. Max Scharping is in. Will Howard and Donte Kent are on the shelf, for now, by design. And the Steelers. They're steady. They're layered. They're ready. Here we go. For a SteelersFix sign-off, Thanks for tuning in to this special episode of SteelersFix Daily. Make sure to follow us on all platforms and check out the full article tribute to Minkah now live on SteelersFix.com. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And until next time, this is SteelersFix signing off. Here we go.